Hey y'all, and welcome back. Happy Valentine's Day. I figured today I would share with y'all my book haul and pick out a book for the remainder of February. I had meant to get to this video way earlier in the month, but it has just been a crazy month so far with storms and everything. So I figured that I would go ahead and finally do it, that it would be a nice time to share with you my little book haul that I did from Books A Million on Friday before the storm got too bad, and then just pick a February book. I had planned to do 2 or 3 books, but I think at this point I might just pick out one and share with y'all because it's gotten a little late in the month to try and read 2 to 3 books. Also for January, I didn't get to all of my books, so I will give an update on that at the end as well. So let's go ahead and get into this book haul. All of these books I found on the discount rack, so that's pretty much the only reason that I will buy a book from Books A Million or from a bookstore anyway, is if it is already on a discount and then I have the Books A Million card that gives me an additional discount. So that is where all of these books came from. The first one is Us Against You. I read Beartown in January, kind of giving that away. And so I really wanted to know what the next book was like. So I got that. It was $5.97, and I'm really excited to get into this one. I might have to do a sequel or a sequels themed month soon because I really want to read this and figure out what happens in Beartown. The next one is something that was inspired by BookTube. I had been seeing this last year, and so after reading the description, I really liked it. I also really love this cover. So this is Saint X. It was $7.97, and I'm just really excited to read it. It is very tropical. It takes place on an island called Saint X, and I'm just super excited to read it. I love reading anything that is about traveling or like mysteries on like Caribbean islands or anything like that. So I'm really excited to get into this one. Again, keeping with the kind of Caribbean island tropical theme, the next one is The Cuban Affair. Again, it was $5 and I got a discount on this. I honestly don't remember exactly what it's about, except that has to do with Cuba and maybe some money or smuggling. I'm not exactly sure, but it sounded really good and I couldn't pass up a $5 book. The next one is by a favorite author of mine, which is Debbie McComber, and that is Cottage by the Sea. It was $7.97 as well, and I just love her books, so anytime that I find hers that are on a discount, I always pick them up. And then the last one was also a BookTube, Bookstagram thing. That is Final Girls by Riley Sager. It was $6.97, and I had heard so many good things about this and Riley Sager that I just really wanted to pick it up. I don't recall if I've read a book. I think I have read a book by Riley Sager before, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. But anyway, so I wanted to try this out because I've just heard amazing things. So excited to read this one as well. That is all of the books that I got, and for the total, I spent $32.10, and I got a $3.40 discount with my Books A Million card. Like I said, I pretty much only buy books when they are the bargain price books because I do not like to spend a lot of money on books, especially if I'm just going to read them once and then they're going to sit on my shelf. So I will only buy them if they're bargain or if they're from a used bookstore at a really good price. So let's go ahead and head upstairs, and I will pick out my one book that I am planning on reading in February. So this is my to-be-read bookshelf. I've set my new books down there, but this month I want to find a romance to read, and I figured that way my theme was romance. So I'm going to try and find something. Hopefully I'll find something good to read. But yeah, I want to try and work through at least some of these books this year without buying too many new ones, so that way I can kind of get this cleared out a little and moved into my other bookshelf that is my red bookshelf. All right, y'all, so I think I picked out the book that I want to read for February, and that is Vision in White by Nora Roberts. I had picked this up at a used bookstore last year, and it is actually a series, but I only have the first one, so I'm really excited to get into this one. It sounds like a fun romance, and I can't wait to read it after my current read. So the one book that I did get to read in January was Beartown. It was actually the one that I was most unsure about, just because I'm not a huge ice hockey fan. I'm not really a sports fan at all. And from what I had heard, this was very heavily centered around ice hockey, but it was so much more than that. And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. After I put the book down, like after reading a chapter, I wanted to pick it back up so much, just because I enjoyed reading about the characters and hearing what was going on in their lives and how they were dealing with certain issues and things that were happening in their lives. And that is what made it interesting. So even though it's a book about ice hockey, it's not really about ice hockey totally. So if you're on the fence like I was, I would still definitely recommend checking it out, because it says so much more than just stuff about a game. So definitely pick that up. That's also the reason that I picked up the next book that talks about Beartown, or the sequel to Beartown, because I wanted to figure out what else Frederick Bachman had to say about all of the issues that he brought up in the first book. And I don't know if they're exactly related, but like I said, I had heard that it was a continuation in Beartown, and so I wanted to keep reading it. The other book that I started in January and I am currently reading now is One by One, and it is so good. I can't wait to figure out what happens, but I kind of expected that because Ruth Ware has some amazing books. It took me a little bit of time to get into her books, but once I figured out her writing style, I have loved all of the books by her that I have read. So I am very excited to figure out what happens in One by One. I'm about halfway finished, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish it up and be able to start my February reading. So thank you so much for joining me today to talk books and book haul, and I will see y'all again in the next video. Bye guys.